Hello everyone, Muckluck Douglas Bartholomew Reginald Esquire IV here, and this is a guide aimed at showing you how to get started making a legendary weapon. Maybe you didn't know they existed yet, or maybe you have seen them around but you didn't know how to get started, or maybe you're just clicking through YouTube at 3 AM and here you are. In any case, let's get started. First off, why would you want legendary gear? Legendary gear has the same stats as Ascended gear. This means if you have a piece of Ascended gear with power, precision, ferocity on it, and a legendary gear with those same three stats, the numbers will be the same. However, the legendary gear can swap to other stats at any time you're out of combat. This means you can use that weapon with every gear set you own or aim to own, and it will always have the desired stats. Additionally, when you replace a sigil or infusion on a legendary item, the old one pops off instead of getting deleted, which could save a lot of cash if you swap builds often. The second reason you might want a legendary is that they are gorgeous. No other items in the game match the flashiness of a legendary in combat. It says, "Look at this, I made this." Most legendary weapons change more than your weapon skin. They also change your footsteps, spell animations, and in some cases the sound effects. I'm looking at you, unicorn bow. Each legendary is a long journey, and step one is deciding which one we're making. We can make the one we get to use on the most characters. Example, if all of your main characters use a sword as one of their weapons, we might go for a sword legendary for that reason. Or if you play one tune but swap gear a lot, you might pick the weapon used in the majority of your weapon sets to ease the burden on your swaps. Or, lastly, you might pick the one you think looks the most drop-dead gorgeous. Now, there are two generations of legendaries. Generation 1 came out before Heart of Thorns. They are tradable until equipped, can be sold on the market. The precursor weapon is tradable. If you don't know what a precursor is, I will come back to that. And because they came out pre-Heart of Thorns, they don't require Heart of Thorns zones to craft them. Generation 2 legendaries came out after the release of Heart of Thorns, so HOT is very much involved in their crafting. Now, a legendary is a long-term project. You can, in some cases, sink a massive amount of gold and finish a legendary in a day, or you can chip away at it slowly, working on it a little each day over weeks and get it done without feeling like you just went bankrupt. Do whichever you like, or anywhere in between. I'm a fan of the slow and steady approach. I like to constantly be working on a legendary as a side project while I play at all times. Seriously? If you've never seen this list of ingredients, you are going to be mind blown. I cannot stress enough that this is a long-term project. Don't get discouraged. We're going to visit this wiki page and decide on an objective if we don't have one in mind already. From this webpage, we can click a legendary, look at some pictures. Here I see that the axe Frostfang also has the effect of making ice climb up the arm. It leaves icy footsteps behind you, and it changes the animations of certain skills. As a ranger main, I can read here that it changes axe skill graphics as well as throw dirt, which is the ranger's downstate ability. For the sake of example, let's say we are interested in crafting Frostfang, which is a Generation 1 weapon. The process is similar to all of these. If you're interested in a Generation 2 weapon, you could skip ahead if you wish. Timestamps are down below. You can see on this table of Gen 1 weapons that each run requires 4 major items. Gift of Fortune and Gift of Mastery are involved in all of them, then a precursor weapon and a legendary weapon gift. Clicking on Frostfang, or whichever Gen 1 weapon you want, opens this page that has a breakdown of what you need to hurl into the Mystic Forge to get Frostfang and where those items come from. Any of the ingredients you need, you can click on this page to see where they are from, but let's gloss over this list and explain some of the unique ones. The Bloodstone Shard is purchased from Miani next to the Mystic Forge in Lion's Arch for 200 Spirit Shards. Obsidian Shards come from map bonus rewards, PvP and World v World reward tracks, mined from various nodes and purchased from many different merchants. Gift of Exploration comes from finishing the world map of Central Tyria. This means the world map before the expansions on a single character. That character will immediately be given 2 gifts of exploration, so if you wanted to make another Gen 1 weapon, you would need to do world completion on another character. Gift of Battle. The only way to get this is a reward track in World vs. World. Get some World v World reward track boosters if possible for your journey in there if you're new to it. Stay active to keep the reward track going. You don't have to be good at this game mode, just participate in any way that you can. This will take a few hours minimum even with maximum participation, so don't fret if you can't get it done in one go. I often refer to this as a Saturday afternoon type of project. Those 4 items, the Bloodstone Shard, the 250 Obsidian Shards, the Gift of Exploration, and the Gift of Battle, hurled into the Mystic Forge will give you the Gift of Mastery. Globs of Ecto Ecto, from salvaging yellows and oranges mostly, can be bought from other players. Mystic Clover, from your 28th day login reward, PvP and World v World reward tracks, purchasable twice per day from the Fractal Merchant, rare drop from certain purchasable containers, and lastly can be RNG forged with the following recipe in the Mystic Forge. What I mean by that is that if you do this recipe in the Forge, there is a chance to get clovers. This step is one of the ones that is very costly if you intend to rush it. Gift of Magic and Gift of Might is just tons of blood, sacks, totems, dust, fangs, scales, claws, and bones. Gather them yourself or buy them. Combining 250 globs of ectoplasm, 77 clovers, Gift of Magic, and Gift of Might in the Forge will get you your Gift of Fortune. Now we're finally at the steps that will vary depending on the weapon you chose. Read the wiki page carefully for the item you intend to make. In the case of our example, Frostfang, I need 100 icy runestones, which cost 1 gold each. That means 100 gold from a merchant that cannot be avoided. A sigil, buy it off the trading post. Gift of Metal, which was 10 gold for the recipe to make a 400 skill weaponsmith item that is account bound. This means one of my toons has to be a weaponsmith to make this, but I can do it on any one of my characters. Gift of Ice, same idea, 10 gold recipe, requires 400 jewel crafting, and it makes an account bound item, so one of my characters has to have 400 jewel crafting. The 100 runestones, the sigil, the Gift of Metal, the Gift of Ice, and the Mystic Forge will give me the Gift of Frostfang. Lastly is the Precursor. It can be found just while roaming the world, but it's kind of like hitting the lottery. If you are specifically looking for it, there are 3 major options. 1, buy it off the trading post. At the time of writing this, that's about 300 gold for Frostfang's Precursor. 2, crafting it. 3, gambling in the Mystic Forge by throwing various rare or exotic items in that meet these requirements. There is a minuscule chance that you will get it. I do not recommend this one personally when you're going for something specific. To craft the Precursor, go to Grandmaster Craftsman Hobbs in Lion's Arch and purchase the Legendary Journey unlock. Example, Frostfang Volume 1. This will require the Revered Antiquarian Mastery. This will unlock a collection. Doing that collection unlocks another step, then another collection, etc., etc. Follow it to the end, use the wiki for convenience. This journey will end with you getting the Precursor. Finally, throw the gifts and the Precursor into the Mystic Forge and withdraw your legendary. Proceed to awe, marvel, and second guess all the time you spent and wonder if now, here at the very end, you should sell it? For a Generation 2 legendary. So you've picked something from Gen 2. I see you're a being of culture as well. The Gen 2 weapons also require 4 items: a Precursor, a Legendary Weapon Gift, a Fortune Gift, and a Mastery Gift. Gen 2s and the Precursors cannot be traded, so you have to make these on your own from scratch. Within this generation are 2 main categories, some that involve a quest line, and some that don't have a quest line but will require an additional mountain of materials. Chuka and Chompawat is an example of one involving a quest where you hunt down 2 monstrous tigers named Chuka and Chompawat, respectively, across all of Tyria. Verderok is an example of a legendary that didn't have much of a quest, but in place of it, you need a few thousand additional mithril and elder wood. As you can see here, many of the legendaries can accept a Gift of Desert Mastery instead of a Gift of Maguma Mastery. Those are the legendaries with less of a story involved. Most people I've talked to about this recommend sticking to the Maguma Mastery option. The first ingredient you need that every Generation 2 requires is a Mystic Tribute. This ingredient will often take you the longest period of time due to the clovers and Mystic Coins. The Gift of Maguma Mastery requires a Gift of Maguma, which is full map completion of Heart of Thorns. Gift of Insights, which requires 4 small gifts purchased from merchants in Heart of Thorns for hot currencies, so you will be doing some meta events. Each of these 4 gifts requires a hot mastery to be able to purchase. You may already have some of or all of these masteries. Bloodstone Shard, again from Miani and Lion's Arch, and 250 crystalline ingots. 2 of the materials for this are account bound, so you'll have to get them yourself, the crystalline ore and the fulgurite. The others you can gather or purchase. The last 2 items are the Precursor and the Legendary Weapon Gift, so you will need to read the page for what you are making to get started. Using Verderok as an example, you could see here that we need a character with Huntsman to make Shard of Call of the Void, 100 of them, and a Gift of Wood. 100 Mystic Runestones purchased from a vendor, and there's no escaping that expense, and Gift of the Mists. Gift of the Mists. Gift of Glory is bought with PvP currency from playing Conquest mode. That's the 5v5 PvP. Gift of Battle, as mentioned earlier, is from World vs. World. Gift of War is purchased with Memories of Battle. These come from World vs. World, but they are super cheap on the trading post. Just buy those. Cube of Stabilizing Dark Energy, crafted with 75 stabilizing matrices. Matrices are from fractals or traded and can be found in a few other obscure locations. Check the wiki. Ball of Dark Energy is salvaged from ascended items. To use the shortbow Chuka and Champawat as a comparison, you could see that instead of 100 shards of Call of the Void, it uses a Gift of Family, which is a collection reward for an achievement related to its story. Because the Gen 2 precursor cannot be bought, you need to craft it yourself. Go to Grandmaster Craftsman Hobbs again, buy the Volume 1 book for the item you want, and get started. There will be a lot of stages through the precursor's evolution, but it will end at the Ascended Precursor weapon, ready to be used in the Mystic Forge for your Legendary. If you made it this far, hurl everything into the Mystic Forge and receive your reward. Sometimes you get extra things as well. Chuka gives a Tiger Spirit pet and a Tiger backpack. Verderok gives a toy that can play music. Now that you've unlocked the appearance, you can use it on all of your tunes if you wish as well. Now be sure to show it off at every chance you get so that everyone understands how fabulous you look. So, which one are we building next? If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, be sure to hit the subscribe button to see more similar content when it releases. If you have any questions or would like to chat, I'm online on Twitch every night after 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and happy to help. Lastly, if you have any tips on legendary weapon crafting that a new player might find helpful, please put them in the comments. Happy crafting!